food supply chain, what does that mean? And so this is literally what we just sort of described, right? Not sort of, but what we just described. So you're going from your farm to to the actual plate, right? What does that mean to your fork to eat it? So we're going to go through these steps and to walk through what exactly, again, that means. So what is the food supply chain? Excuse me. A food supply chain consists of processes and activities that take food from its raw material form and prepare it to our plate, AKA from farm to fork. It is not a singular chain of entities. It is a complex web of interconnected entities working to make food available. So that is what food supply chain is, right? And that's really what supply chain is really all about. It's going from just an idea, right? If you look at your phone, someone just had an idea, right? And they made this come to life. There's a whole supply chain behind this as well. So this, we're focused on food supply chain, but again, it's just taking from the raw material, right? From raw earth, right? The material that we get, and then forming it into that final product. So that is what supply chain is. That is what food supply chain is. So it's also important to understand certain terminologies within you're going to hear me say throughout the topic, which is so there's different steps, right? We know that we're going to go through what those steps are, but product typically flows downstream and cash flows upstream. So in supply chain, you're going to hear the word downstream. In the supply chain, that direction points toward the end consumer, right? It's flowing everybody. So it goes from farmer to distributor to wholesaler to retailer. So those are the things that it takes, right? Those are flowing downstream. Then it goes back upstream. That's the actual cash moving back in the different direction. That points to the suppliers. That is what we mean when we say upstream. So supply chains are known as systems or networks that are tasked with moving materials from suppliers all the way to the end customer. So it's rather obvious that if materials stop flowing, then the supply chain has stopped functioning. So for example, toilet paper, Lysol, all those things that we were missing, there was something that happened within the supply chain, right? Some of it was hyperconsumption, but at the end of the day, there was a flow, an interruption in the flow. So I say all that to say, in order for supply chains to function and develop, three things must continuously flow: materials, money, and information. And those are the things. Information is constantly going back and forth, right? That's the thing that we don't see on here, but it's constantly moving. So again, that's just understanding the technology, but the terminology and meaning, okay, what does the food supply chain really look like? So when you hear downstream, again, points to the consumer, upstream points to the supplier.